Hey guys, back again. So let's review the movies I watched this week and close to last week, I believe. So I think this is about a week's worth of movies again. Again, I really love doing this type of reviewing because then I don't have to upload singular videos all the time because it takes a lot of time, especially with my crappy internet. So let's get started with the only theatrical movie I watched this week, which was Old. And Old is M. Night Shyamalan's newest movie. With M. Night Shyamalan, I really loved a good amount of his movies. Like, I'd say like 60-70% of his movies I've enjoyed or loved. And there's a couple that I couldn't stand. I couldn't stand The Last Airbender. I couldn't stand After Earth. I thought those were both terrible. And I haven't even seen the Avatar show yet, which I need to. I hear that's great. But I really love Split. I really love Unbreakable and Glass. Really love Sixth Sense. That The Happening is really hilarious. The Visit is awesome. The Village is Signs I like. But I do enjoy those. Like, I do enjoy his filmography, and I do like that no matter what, he always does a movie that's different. It's not a movie that you really have seen before. Oh, and Lady in the Water, I think, is the other one I forgot to mention. That one was whatever. I have not seen his two movies that are not horror before The Sixth Sense. I think Wide Awake's one of them, one of the titles. I haven't seen those, but yeah, coming into Old, I was kind of excited for this, or not really excited. I was kind of like, this looks whatever. But then watching this movie, I was so upset because I thought this movie was done so badly. Like, I could not, I really couldn't stand this movie. I was so upset that I loved the last couple that he did, and then this one just really let me down. Like, I felt like it was executed so poorly and so badly. Like, and I hate to say that from a director that I really enjoy a lot of his stuff from, but there's a couple I hate. But regardless, there's a lot more I love than hate in his filmography. So it's really a shame that this is so low. This is one of his worst, I think. I really didn't enjoy Old. I thought the story had a premise that I thought was unique and interesting. Even though I know there's been movies about people who grow old and places really quick, but I did like the concept of it. I thought the concept was interesting. I thought it worked. It was gonna work in that way, but no, it's really really stupid and really it's stupid in a way where it's not entertaining. It's not like The Happening. It just did not work with everything that he was trying to do. And like I said, I'm just really sad to say that because my opinion was really not very positive on this one. But I still like his stuff. I hope that he does more, and I do want to see more of his movies. But this one just really didn't do much for me. I really thought it was just a really bad dud. Like, I really didn't like Old, unfortunately. But Old is the only one that I saw theatrically for this set of reviews. And there's a couple watches that I haven't seen before, and then there's a couple rewatches. So let's get started with the couple of rewatches that I watched this week. I watched Sleepaway Camp again. I love Sleepaway Camp. Incredible, of course. There's not much that's changed since I've talked about it before. I rewatched it with the commentary of Robert Hiltzik and Felissa Rose, and I feel like it was a good commentary. I still think this one, no matter what, is one of the most rewatchable because it's just so insane. Like, it's such an insane slasher, and I really enjoy this one. It's one of my favorite camp slashers ever. It's just so entertaining and so fun. Not much really I could say about Sleepaway Camp because I've said so much about it before. I rewatched Leatherface, Texas Chainsaw Massacre 3, and the only reason I watched Part 3 is because I did not own this, and this had a commentary with the director and a couple other people involved for the commentary. But on this rewatch, I did like parts of it a little more, but I still think it's one of the weakest ones out of the franchise. I think it's really boring. I think that it has some good stuff in it. The main actress is really good. Ken Foray is good. I liked the idea of Michelle, the main girl, becoming this like scared character, and then she becomes kind of a badass at the end. And they do that in part 4 as well with Renee Zellweger's character Jenny as well. But I liked how they did it in this one. And I like seeing Viggo Mortensen as well. He was great in the movie as well. It's trying to be like the first one, but it's not. It's not the first one, and that's a weird thing to say because there's the first movie, which is like the scariest movie ever made, and then you got the second one, which is hilarious, and I love the second one. And this one just tries to go back to the first one, but it doesn't have that same touch. It still works. It still has some good atmosphere to it. It's got some good acting. It's got some. It is creepy, but it just does not work like the original, and I just feel like that's always the downfall I have whenever I watch this one. Um, I really think it's just okay. It's one of my not my least favorite of the franchise, but it's down there. It's pretty low. Leatherface, but I did want to rewatch it again. Um, and then those. Let me see. I've got one more rewatch. I rewatched. This isn't horror, but I rewatched Tootsie. And Tootsie is a Dustin Hoffman movie where Dustin Hoffman's character is a washed up actor. Nobody will hire him. So what he does is the unthinkable. He dresses up as a woman and pretends to be a woman and becomes famous and gives all of these great roles in this trashy soap opera, while people around him like he's trying to keep it secret, and he's slowly falling in love with the character that Jessica Lange plays, and but she doesn't realize that because he's being a girl in this moment. And I really like that this movie is just kind of a slice of life movie. It's really hilarious. It's really entertaining. Um, it's one of my favorite Dustin Hoffman roles. It made me laugh a lot. I love slice of life movies. I love movies that just have a character go through a certain situation, but it's just kind of a moment in their life where they're doing something. And I think that it just is a really great movie, and it's really fun. The Criterion, great, great addition. And this is a pickup I got. I've got another pickup as well from another Criterion, but I'll show that off in a minute because I didn't rewatch that. But Tootsie, really awesome. Then I watched David Cronenberg's Rabid, which I had not seen before, and I really like David Cronenberg's all the stuff that I've seen him do. Like I haven't seen all of his films, but I really do like the ones I've seen. I've seen the big basics, like Scanners and stuff, but this one I had not seen, and I hear this is one that people liked. This reminded me so much of Shivers, which was released before this, and it's weird how similar it is to Shivers. I don't know if it's better or worse than Shivers, because I felt like this and Shivers were both very similar body horror, where like it's fine, but in terms of Cronenberg's films, it's definitely a weaker one. It's not a bad one. It's still good. It's still a good movie, and it still works. It's got good effects. It's got good tension in it. But it just it didn't wow me. Like, it was still good, though. I like how this is related to now with a pandemic coming on, but it's different than that. But I like how they've got similarities to this about shutting things down and everything and keeping people isolated. I think that's interesting. But yeah, Rabbit I thought was totally fine. It was serviceable enough. I enjoyed it. And then I watched Ghoulies 1 and 2, and I'd never seen these before. I've seen Ghoulies 3, Ghoulies Go to College, this last year, but I had never seen the first two. Ghoulies 1 I thought was really fun. I thought it was interesting it's about this guy him and his wife go to this house that he inherits, and he realizes that his family history is that his family summoned demons, and then it's making the guy start to summon these ghoulies, which are creatures that wreak havoc. And it's not really about the ghoulies as much in the first one as much as the second one, but it still is a good story, and I think it was interesting for a horror movie. Like, I did like the execution of it. Ghoulies 2, I didn't like as much. It had a couple fun moments, but it is ridiculous, but not in a way where I was fully, like, entertained. Like, honestly, like, I thought it was whatever. It's a lot more the ghoulies just wrecking shit, and that's totally fine, but I just didn't love it. But I didn't love the first one, to be fair. I thought the first one was solid enough, but this one I didn't like as much as the first one. They're very weird separate films because the second one doesn't reference the first one. It's just there's ghoulies and that's kind of it. But I still liked both of these in a way, but they're not ones that wowed me. Like, they were totally fine. Nothing super special though. So those are all the movies I watched. But as I said with Tootsie, I bought Tootsie for the Criterion Collection at Barnes & Noble, and I got another pickup, which is House. And House I've seen before. I have not rewatched it again. I want to, though. House is amazing. This is a Japanese movie about these schoolgirls who go to one of their aunt's houses, and all this weird shit starts happening. Where, like, they'll start getting killed in weird ways, or they'll start getting getting turned into creatures and random stuff, and it's like a weird mind-bending Japanese movie. And the story behind this is interesting, and how this movie was made, because Jaws was made, and this is nothing related to Jaws, but like it's like they wanted to make their own horror movie in Japan that would be big, and this one was big. It is just a wacky ass movie. Like, it is strange, it is surreal, it is something you've never seen before, and I really do love it, and I remember loving it. So I can't wait to rewatch it again. I will sometime, but I'm glad I just own it now with the Criterion Collection sale at Barnes and Noble. But yeah, I really am glad I got that as well. So like I said, the two pickups I got are Tootsie and House. And the movies that I watched, like I said, were rewatched Sleepaway Camp, rewatched Texas Chainsaw Massacre 3, rewatched Tootsie, watched Rabid, Ghoulies, and Ghoulies 2 for the first time, and watched Old in the theaters. And like I said, I feel like it's an interesting week, because I did have some rewatches because I was just in the mood for them. Like I said, Sleepaway Camp, that one I just wanted to rewatch. I did feel like there wasn't a movie that I disliked besides Old. Like, that's the only one I disliked. But the other movies I thought were all entertaining, or I loved. Like I said, I love Tootsie, love Sleepaway Camp. I didn't rewatch House, but I love House. So, yeah, that's it for this week's reviews and pickups. So, I'll see you guys next week with more. I think that Jungle Cruise movie is coming out. That Dwayne Johnson, Emily Blunt movie. And then I know the Suicide Squad is coming out the 6th, which I'm so excited for, because the reviews for that are really good. It's like some of the best rated DC reviews so far, and I really enjoyed the last couple DC movies for the most part. So I'm loving where DC's going. And the Suicide Squad just sounds awesome, because I really like the first one, even though it's trashy. And it's not going to be like the first one, but I enjoyed the first one. I love James Gunn's stuff. So I'm excited to see what the Suicide Squad is like. I can't wait. August 6th, I think, is whenever it comes out, so next week. But yeah, that's it for this week's watches and pickups. So I'll see you guys in the next one. Take care.